The following is a presentation of the PAC Sports Network.
Your ball game. The St. Vincent Bearcats do it back to back. Good afternoon again, everyone, and welcome back inside the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse here for the second half of our doubleheader, the PAC game of the week. This time, it's the men's version, Waynesburg against Grove City. Again, I'm Dave Floyd, and alongside me is Nick Farrow, our cameraman today, Nate Rigotti, and our producer, Randy Gore. These two teams, Nick, coming in terms of results, in a little different spots, and really maybe not something that you would expect. Waynesburg, a team with a large senior class, talented senior class coming back, expected to be amongst the best in the PAC. Right now, just 1-5, and 0-1, losing their only PAC game to Thomas More on Wednesday. Grove City, on the other hand, they're 4-2 right now, 1-0 in PAC play after getting a victory over Washington and Jefferson in their first conference matchup on Wednesday. And we'll start first with the home team. Looking at this Waynesburg Yellow Jacket team, at least one outlet that I looked at picked them to win this conference. And when you're sitting at 1-5, sure, they certainly have played some tough competition early on, but I'm sure Coach Christner is looking for them to get on track here, and it'll start this afternoon against Grove City.
Well, Dave, typically records are what set teams apart in terms of conference standings. It's what seeding is based on. But I think today's game is really going to tell us if Grove City's record signifies exactly how good of a team it is, and if Waynesburg's record is a symbol of just how bad they've been so far this season, because the Jackets have played some very, very good basketball teams, including at the time Calvin, which was the 6th best team in the country, fell to that team 89-71. The Jackets are a threat at home. They won a playoff game here last season against Washington and Jefferson, the hated rival, beat them 3 times in one season. The Jackets have been very good in the confines of the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse under head coach Mark Christner. We'll see if that continues today, led of course by that core of seniors that had just come back for more every single season. The bulk of the scoring done this year by B.J. Durham, who's only a junior, averaging 12 points per game, who's moved into a starting role. But of course, Jason Probst and Jacob Flegel, your perennial top scorers for these Jackets, averaging over 10 points a game.
Yeah, they certainly have a large group who's capable of putting a lot of points on the board, and they'll look to get back on track here, as we said, in terms of records. And this is really when, in terms of records, as you said, it starts mattering as we're starting to get into the conference schedule. Of course, we'll take a break for the holidays, but then get back into it first thing in January. And now looking at this Grove City team not expected to finish quite as highly, maybe as their opponents today, Waynesburg, but early on this season, they jumped out to a 3-0 start, winning their first few games, and then they went on the road, a trip out to California, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk a little bit more about it as the broadcast rolls along. But they played some very tough competition out there as well. Pomona Pitzer, Claremont Mudd Scripps, two teams who, according to Coach Lammy, the Wolverines, teams that are right on the fringe of those national rankings as well. And Friday after Thanksgiving, they lost a 30-point game against Pomona Pitzer, and their head coach said maybe a little bit too much turkey, a little bit too much sun. They'd been on the beach, they'd been to Disneyland, but then they got back on track the next night. They lost by 16 to a really good Claremont Mud Scripps team, but he said one of his favorite games he's been a part of is they really went toe-to-toe with them for the majority of the game, and then picking up a big victory as well against Washington and Jefferson, a team they always have close games against. So maybe a team not quite, maybe you'd say talent level wise at what Waynesburg University may be, but a team that always plays well, always plays disciplined, and they've gotten results so far this season.
One key player to keep an eye on today quickly, Dave, is Isaiah Reeves. He's a junior for the Wolverines. His scoring average isn't that high, only 3 points per game, but he's in the starting lineup today. He's a big defensive threat for Grove City. As we saw in the women's game, defense was what helped give the Wolverines a big lead early on against the Lady Jackets. He'll be key to any of that type of success that the Wolverines might look for today.
Oh, there's no doubt. Big-time perimeter defender for Grove City. And when you're looking offensively for the Wolverines, it probably starts, and really everything with the Wolverines starts with Mitch Marmelstein, the senior from California. The reason for that trip out there to the sunny west coast of this country is he leads them in minutes. He's fourth in the conference in minutes. He leads them in points. He's sixth in the conference there. He leads them in assists as well. So he's somebody who plays a big role for this Grove City team, and offensively he's certainly going to play a big part.
Yeah, you know, Dave, I've always wondered, I would love, if I could interview Mitch Marmelstein for one reason or another, I'd love to ask him what brought him from the West Coast to Grove City. I mean, boy, it seems like you would never want to leave the weather in California. I don't know, that's just my personal opinion. Perhaps he's here because he's the top scorer on this team. As you said, all of the offense goes through him, and it seems like he just never comes off the court. He averages 34 minutes per game. That means he's only sitting on the bench for 6. He must be in great condition. He's got a great shooting stroke, and it doesn't matter if it's the first minute of the game or the final minute of the game. He is Grove City's biggest threat.
Yeah, and talking with their head coach too, Steve Lammy says, hey, he's their hardest worker. He's their biggest conditioner in the off season. He's all of that to this team here at Grove City. He's what leads the way, so we'll see if he can do that for the Wolverines today. But we're getting set here for the national anthem and the starting lineups. Right now, though, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we do have the starting lineups, which will be brought to you by Sports Clips here on the PAC Sports Network.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this. There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
I'm Erica Gunther, and I'm a nursing student here at Thomas More College. Everybody knows each other. You can't go 10 feet down the hallway without saying hi to probably 3 people that you know from either a classroom or a sport or for meeting from one of the clubs or organizations here on campus, because we have so many of them. They want to show you what college is going to be like. You're a student and you're going to behave like a professional in your environment, because that's what they're training you to be. Thomas More College is preparing me for success as a nurse.
Catch the end there of our Star-Spangled Banner here from the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse, and we're now getting set for the starting lineups. And again, the starting lineups today are brought to you by Sport Clips.
For the visiting Wolverines, take a look at the starting lineup. The guards, junior number 5, Stephen Tam. Senior guard number 22, Mitch Marmelstein. As we said, big offensive threat for the Wolverines. The defensive threat at guard is junior number 24, Isaiah Reeves. Underneath, junior number 33, Caleb Knudsen, and freshman center number 50, Corey Huff, will do the bulk of the rebounding and interior offensive and defensive work for the Wolverines today, led by 17th-year head coach Steve Lammy.
Now let's take a look at the home team here in this one, the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. At guard, a senior, number 25, Byram Luco. A junior guard, number 30, BJ Durham. A senior wing player out of Bethel Park, Kenny Clace. A senior wing player out of Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, North Star High School, number 10, Jacob Flegel. And underneath, the senior forward, 6'5", out of Brighton, Colorado, Jason Probst. Of course, the Yellow Jackets led by 5th-year head coach Mark Christner, coming into this one with an overall record of 37 and 76. Looking to improve on that here today against Grove City. These two teams have played 88 times since the 1921-22 season. 32 wins for Waynesburg, 56 for Grove City. The last contest, January 21st last year, 63-60. Waynesburg with a win there in a game that was tied at 50 with just about 5 minutes left. It seems these teams always play close games, and we may be in for another one similar here today. Referees for this afternoon's contest, Harold Barner, Mark Shaw, and Paul Skirtich.
One thing that's impressive, Dave, is behind that left basket, the Waynesburg student section is filled. It's not something you see all the time at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. It shows just how far this Waynesburg basketball program has come in the last 4 seasons, and I'm sure we'll talk about that throughout the broadcast.
No doubt, they're out in full force here today, but Grove City will get the first crack at things as they win the tip, and it's Mitch Marmelstein with it for the Wolverines. Now to Tam, and back to Marmelstein. Again, the senior from California, a key cog on this Wolverine side. 15 to shoot, he gets it inside to Reeves, guarded by Luco. Turnaround doesn't go, but an offensive rebound there for Grove City, something we saw a lot of in the women's game for the Wolverines. They get one on the men's side here. And this one, now just 2 on the shot clock. Somebody's got to shoot it, and that shot clock runs out. We've got a whistle, so good defense by Waynesburg on that first possession.
So here come the Jackets getting their first offensive possession of the game. Interesting that Byram Luco and BJ Durham will be doing most of the work, bringing the ball up the court. Looks like it's a 2-guard set. Normally, Casey Hope was the starter, at least last season, until he tore his ACL. Now he's not even in the starting lineup. Shows you the depth on this team.
Yeah, a ton of experienced players on this Waynesburg roster, something Grove City head coach Steve Lammy certainly noted when we talked to him this week. Kenny Clace has a shot blocked. Grove City takes it quickly the other way. Marmelstein working on Flegel. Job by Flegel, keeping him out of the paint. They try to get it to Reeves on a little backdoor cut across the baseline. Pass too far out in front of him, and a turnover there for the Wolverines.
It's a good-looking pass by Tam, just a miscommunication. Couldn't find Reeves, so that's 2 consecutive turnovers. One a shot clock violation, the other just a miscue for the Wolverines to start this one out.
So, almost a minute 30 gone. Still opening moments here. Kenny Clace, 3-pointer in the air, and good for Waynesburg. Kenny Clace, his first 3-point basket of the year. He was 0 for 9 coming in, and that's a big one. They need to get the senior on track from behind the arc. Grove City now top of the key, nowhere for going. A 5-second call there as Corey Huff got caught out in no man's land. And it's another turnover for the Wolverines. Jackets with the ball up 3.
Well, I'm not sure if it was our referee, Paul Skirtich, who made that call, or Jacket head coach Mark Christner, who was doing the counting on the sideline, jumped up and did a little dance before the whistle was blown.
And he got it as Clace takes another shot. I think that one might have been partially blocked there by Huff coming out on the blocks, or from the blocks, I should say. And with it now, here's driving for Grove City. It's Knudsen, and he gets it to go. Caleb Knudsen. 8.8 a game. His first basket here, first basket for the Wolverines this afternoon.
What a tough shot, floating through the lane, floating away from the basket, making the shot.
And here's Jason Probst with a 3-pointer for Waynesburg. He had only taken one all year and knocked it down, make it 2 for 2, and it's 6-2. The Jackets with a couple of trays here early on.
Maybe the big fella ought to stop there.
As we have Reeves with a layup. Yeah, he's not a guy who steps behind the arc too often, is he?
But he's 100% on the season, so he can keep that mark.
Keep that percentage. He'll always maybe have that against the guards who shoot it a little more often. Probst with another long jump shot. This one from 2, and he's got another. So 5 points for him, and the lead is now 8-4. Jackets doubling up the Wolverines here early on.
Well, it is certain, though, that Probst likes to play with his body toward the basket, whereas someone like Huff, who's a true center, can play with his back away from the basket. You know, that's the difference between these two types of big men that we're going to see today. Probst is okay with the basketball 15 feet away. He can drive, he can pull up. So can Flegel, who's also 6'4". But it looks like Knudsen and Huff, who are the two big men for Grove City, play a different sort of style of basketball.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Even their head coach, Steve Lammy, said of Knudsen, he said, you know, there's no hiding. He's a little bit slower of foot, but he's got all the skills and all the tools, and that's what he needs to use. So see if he can do that. It's a nice move there inside by Andrew Beckman in the game for the first time for the Wolverines. Nice job in the paint, and they cut the lead to 2. Foul, by the way, on that last possession was Kenny Clace, his first, as Probst goes again to the basket, and they say he walked here as he tried to spin his way in. So a Waynesburg turnover, and we have a couple more, at least one other substitution here for Grove City. Is that McSweeney? It is, Scott McSweeney. So 2 freshmen inside in the paint, in right away here for Grove City with Beckman and McSweeney. Reeves with it for the Wolverines, right wing. To McSweeney. And now Marmelstein. Thomas Ellis into the game for Waynesburg. Big scorer for the Jackets off the bench. And now it's Swartz, another substitute for Grove City. He's going to draw a foul here before the shot. And they really use both of those guys, Tam and Swartz. They play about equal minutes, only a tenth of a minute off. And so you'll see a lot of them at the point for Grove City. As looks like Labashak into the game for the first time. Nate Labashak for the Yellow Jackets. So fresh shot clock here for Grove City. Probst on that last foul, by the way, for Waynesburg. Labashak trying to guard McSweeney there. He does, forces the miss, and on the rebound, it's going to be off of B.J. Durham.
Oh, good hustle by McSweeney, or rather that's Beckman who stayed with that one all the way from the paint out to the wing, giving Grove City a second chance. Now wait, they're going to turn it over here, saying that it was Beckman who touched it out of bounds. And honestly, Dave, I do think that's the right call because he's got a little bit longer wingspan and had those fingertips on it, maybe more so than Durham did. Coach Christner on that Yellow Jacket bench certainly thought so.
He's certainly a guy quiet in demeanor when you talk to him, but very animated on the sideline all the time. As here's Thomas Ellis with the ball fake, and then mid-range jump shot doesn't go. And the rebound goes to McSweeney. Grove City clears. Here's Swartz into the lane. Nice move, but he has it knocked away from behind. I think it was Durham who got a hand on it. And now Thomas Ellis takes it the other way. Got to watch out. Swartz coming from behind. Good awareness to get it out. Now Durham with a three-pointer. Off the rim, no good. Ellis, those skies for the rebound, and he'll go to the line for 2.
Looks like we've got the foul committed by Marmelstein, so that's his first. Also Grove City's first team foul. To the line goes Ellis, 8 for 12 on the season. He's been Waynesburg's 6th man his entire career, averaging about 16 minutes per game this season. But every one of those minutes off the bench, he's a fierce contributor to this Yellow Jacket offense, as he always has been, averaged over 10 points per game last season.
Yeah, 8.5 so far this season. He's 8 for 12 from the line coming in. He missed that first one. Got a chance, though, to give the Jackets a 3-point lead here.
He had a season-high 17 against Thomas More, so he's already off to a good start in PAC play, Dave.
Absolutely, and Coach Christner said really it's been the last 3 games that he's really started to pick up the pace, and Christner also noted really the importance that he has off the bench. He knows the value of the minutes that he brings and the scoring that he brings. couple other substitutes in for Waynesburg as well. Tyler Miller inside and Casey Hope out on the perimeter. Hope guarding Tam. Wolverines swinging around, nuts it. Inside to Marmelstein, ball fake on Miller. Now the turnaround fadeaway jumper, in and out, no good. And Luco skies for the rebound.
That's the mismatch you want if you're Marmelstein, though. Quick-footed against Tyler Miller, who's more of a traditional center-style player.
And here's Miller stepping outside for that long jumper, and he shows a little of his range. Tyler Miller with a 2, and it's 11-6.
Boy, shows you how much the game is evolving, Dave. Big men can hit those tough jump shots from 15, 18, even 20 feet away.
And Miller showed it there as Marmelstein. He takes a long jumper, and it goes three-pointer for Mitch Marmelstein. Cuts that lead to 2. Ellis now for Waynesburg. Stops his dribble to Luco. Boy, those feet move so quickly on Byram Luco. It's probably tough for the referees as the referees on the Grove City side wanted to travel. Didn't get it as Ellis trying to back Hudson in. Now Miller's going to take another long jumper. This one's too long, and the rebound goes to Grove City. 11-9. Fast-paced opening few moments here. 13:40 to play in the first half. Marmelstein inside, nice dish there. Found a wide open Andrew Beckman. He's got his second basket of the contest, and it's 11-all. And there's Marmelstein showing all elements of his game. We saw him hit the 3, and there's a nice dish inside. Here's Hope for Waynesburg. To Ellis, thought about a 3. And now Hope's got to get it back. Tie ball game as we took close to 13 minutes to play. 8 on the shot clock. Hope resets. Pull-up jumper, it's blocked by Steven Tam. A good one, and Marmelstein picks up the loose ball. Mitch Marmelstein resetting for Grove City. Hands off to Tam. He's swinging around. Ends up with Tam underneath the basket. Stripped away there. He lost the handle on it, and Waynesburg will go the other way. Luco wasn't looking, though, and the pass from Hope goes out of bounds, and a turnover for the Jackets.
A lot of subs coming in for both teams. Reeves checks back in for Grove City. Also coming back, I believe, is Knudsen for Waynesburg. Flegel back in. Clace in. Also subbing in there for the first time, DJ Ritchie to join Hope and Ellis, or rather Miller. You know, it's one of the reasons why this Waynesburg team is picked to finish so highly in the conference is because the Jackets have at least 10 guys, 5 to start, 5 to come in off the bench that can all contribute on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. They certainly have a deep bench, and Grove City likes to reach into that bench as well. Maybe not quite the depth of the Jackets, but they'll certainly play 10 for the most part on a given night. As we had a foul underneath the basket on JT Swartz, I believe.
Got that right, Dave. I think Grove City so far has used 4 players off its bench to Waynesburg's 5, so you're right, both of them very comparable.
And here's Marmelstein loose for a second, but then Flegel picked him back up. Huff now had it knocked away for a moment, but Swartz is able to pick it up for the Wolverines. Back to Huff, and he's going to try a long jump shot. It doesn't go, and Hope is up for the rebound. Now, you've said it. We've seen just about every big man out there on the floor step back and take a long jumper. We're going to have steps here, though, underneath on Tyler Miller. As he tried to back down, I believe it was Caleb Knudsen, excuse me. And now both of those players will exit.
Well, Dave, it's Waynesburg's big man and Jason Probst, who's back in the game now, who leads all scorers with 5. But Grove City has 4 contributors to the scoring sheet, as does Waynesburg.
Underneath the basket now, and Huff lost the handle, or off of his hands last, it looked like. And Ritchie will inbound for Waynesburg. 11-all. Haven't had a point in the last couple of minutes. Teams trading empty possessions. Probst at the elbow. Gonna hand off to Hope. Hands off to Flegel. He tries the entry pass to Probst, and there's going to be a foul on the play. And I think it's going to go against McSweeney as he shakes his head, and that is who's going to pick up the foul call there. Second foul on Grove City, first on McSweeney. So DJ Ritchie, the transfer from Garrett County Community College in Maryland, is going to inbound from underneath. Talking with Coach Christner, he said just the hardest part he thinks for Ritchie getting back into it is on the defensive side of things, trying to gel with his teammates on that end. Is Flegel with his first three of the day. It's too long, and Grove City with a rebound. Inside, McSweeney working on Ritchie. Good job by Ritchie on defense. .17 on the shot clock here for the Wolverines. Tie ball game, Huff into the lane. Little baby hook doesn't go. And Waynesburg clears again. This little mini scoring drought continues, still 11-all here. Ritchie into the lane. And before the shot, a foul called on Grove City.
Good take there by Ritchie, even though it is a floor foul, no continuation foul there. He's swift, being 6'4", he moves quickly just like he's a guard, getting to the hoop, trying to finish strong with that left hand.
He inbounds the basketball, finds Flegel, gets it right back, and there is that left hand with a three-pointer, the third for the Jackets already. And we have another basket. It's 14-11, Waynesburg on top. So Ritchie, Probst, and Clace all hitting three-pointers for Waynesburg. They only have two-point field goals. And the Jackets coming in, the #1 team in the conference in three-point shooting at 38.6%. And another offensive rebound here for Grove City, and they get to reset. Huff underneath, trying to get around Ritchie. Tough shot, doesn't go. And Durham with a rebound. Flegel on the other end, thought about a jump shot, instead he takes it to the hole. Can't get it to go though, and the rebound by Huff.
Way to get back by Huff too. That last offensive possession ended with him on the ground. He comes down, doesn't allow the Jackets to get a second chance.
And it looks like we're gonna have a timeout called here by Grove City, so we'll step aside as well. 14-11, the home team leads it here, Waynesburg over Grove City on the PAC Sports Network.
I'm proud to be a president because I've been taught to be a leader, not just through what I say, but through what I do. Hi, I'm Zach, and I'm a senior.
Hi, I'm Becca, and I'm a freshman.
Hi, I'm Nate, and I'm a sophomore.
I really like W&J and decided to come here because they offered me a great balance between academics and athletics, and both are very important to me, and that's something that's tough to find.
I know W&J is going to give me a great foundation.
W&J has given me a start, and with that start, I can go anywhere.
9:44 to play in the opening half. The Jackets lead the Wolverines here 14-11. Grove City, fresh off a timeout, will inbound just in front of us. Marmelstein will be the trigger man. Swartz guarded closely there by Durham. He gets around him for a second. Now a skip pass to the far side. McSweeney on the inside. His shot doesn't go on the rebound by Ellis. Ritchie on the other end for Waynesburg, driving the baseline. Tough shot, but he's going to get to the line there. DJ Ritchie. Famu on the baseline, and he'll shoot two.
I think that foul's on McSweeney. If that's so, that's 3 on him.
That's his third.
And you're right, Nick. He'll pick up his third. And we'll see if Caleb Knutson's going to check in for him after this shot as Ritchie hits the first. And McSweeney will check out.
I think it's safe to say, too, Dave, if you want to get technical about it, as also Tam checks back in for Schwartz. I'm pretty certain that Ritchie is the player who was fouled by McSweeney twice, if not all 3 times, on trips to the lane.
So he's done a nice job forcing the issue there on the offensive end. And Ritchie will now check out.
It's one thing that some people have said the Jackets don't do so well, despite the fact that they have so many big players that can all dribble the basketball. they don't have too many players who are physical enough to go toe-to-toe with big men and finish and draw fouls. That's something that has been a criticism of Mark Christner's teams in the past. It's nice to see Richie's able to do that.
Knutson gets caught in the air and is able to get it to Tam, who almost lost it. Now it's off the foot of Kenny Clace, and it'll stay with Grove City. So Tam a bit out of control there after losing the handle on the ball, but fortunate for the Wolverines, they're able to keep possession.
We haven't seen too many good open looks for Mitch Marmelstein. He's only taken 3 shots all game.
Let's see if he takes one here. 7 on the shot clock. Giesler loses the handle, and now somehow Tam gets free. His shot off the iron, though, altered there by Lavashak. Durham the other way. Ellis with the layup. Doesn't go. Some contact there, and he wasn't able to finish.
Yeah, tough one from Ellis. Almost dropped down, though. Good work by the Jackets to just get it out in transition. Here they go again.
Yeah, quick hands there by B.J. Durham. Working on Marmelstein. Tough shot for him. This one rattles in, though. And B.J. Durham with his first deuce. It's 18-11. The lead swells to 7 here for the Yellow Jackets.
And the junior guard for Waynesburg has now become the 6th scorer for the Jackets.
So as they often do, spreading it around on the offensive end. Clace guarding Marmelstein. Good dish there by Marmelstein again. Found fellow captain Giesler on the weak side, but Giesler couldn't finish.
Interesting to see what Durham does with the ball here. It looks like he jammed his finger, and there you see him kind of shaking it a little bit, checking on it. Not sure what happened. I just saw his reaction. Wonder if he's all right.
We'll keep our eyes peeled on that as Probst tries a little turnaround off the glass, and good. 7 points for him in the early going. Nice first half to this point. It's a 9-point Waynesburg lead.
Great shot, a textbook post move by Probst. Doing that spin move, staying composed. Don't fade away from the hoop. Instead, just go straight up and take that short jump shot, and he hits it, give Waynesburg a 9-point lead.
Yeah, largest lead of the game for the Jackets, and Grove City needs a timeout as a result. 20-11 with 7:25 to play on this first half clock. Back in a moment on the PAC Game of the Week.
Since 1961, McCracken Pharmacy has served their community in a uniquely personalized way with the goal to use the most innovative technologies in retail pharmacy. Patients and customers are served with medication synchronization programs, easy-to-use unit dose packaging, adult vaccination programs, and free delivery service. McCracken's 3 pharmacists and friendly, courteous, knowledgeable staff will take the time to sit and answer patients' medication questions. With all major insurances accepted, McCracken is also a preferred pharmacy in many Medicare plans. McCracken Pharmacy, a proud sponsor of Yellow Jackets basketball in the PAC.
It begins here on a beautiful campus in southwestern Pennsylvania. At Waynesburg University, students become leaders in education, in business, in government, and science. They learn to tackle real-world issues with innovation and purpose, and are prepared for these roles within a community that fosters spiritual growth. Waynesburg University, a tradition of faith since 1849.
(22-11) is the score here. 7:25 to play in the first half. Waynesburg leading Grove City Wolverines, though, with possession. It's the starting lineup, minus Huff on the floor for Grove City. Beckman in for him. Here's Knutson for the Wolverines to Marmelstein. 6 on the shot clock. Ellis hustling there on the ground with Marmelstein. We'll see what the call is. And it's going to be a jump ball.
Possession arrow favors Waynesburg too. There's the hustle from the 6th man, Ellis. He's so scrappy on offense and on defense. He's so quick too. One of the things that plagued him earlier on in his career was that he was a little bit over-aggressive, so that would lead to turnovers or too many fouls. He's come into himself last year in his junior season and is showing those same signs that he's more composed this year.
Miller underneath, brought the ball to the floor. Not the right thing to do with Reeves around, able to strip it. Grove City takes it the other way quickly. Ball in the air, Knutson finds it. And now wide open for 3 is Marmelstein off the front iron, though. Offensive rebound for Grove City.
Well, it's no good from the Wolverines' leading scorer there. He's now 1 for 3 today from the field, but that's the look I think Coach Lammy would like to see in that situation with a team down 9. Give your best scorer a chance from 3.
And here's another wide open three-point shooter. This time it's Knudsen, and he hits it. Caleb Knudsen, 5 points in the first half. And the junior gets the Wolverines back to within 6.
We saw it in the women's game, Dave. Whether you're playing against a zone or man-to-man defense, good passing typically leads to good looks, and that's what happened for Knudsen there.
And talking with Coach Lammy earlier in the week, he knows that that's going to be important, is that they're going to have to be able to find open shots like that. As there's an open shot for Waynesburg right at the hoop. Byram Luco with his first 2 on a nice pass, and it's another 8-point lead, or back up to an 8-point lead, I should say, for Waynesburg.
Luco becomes Waynesburg's 7th scorer. Great patience from Labishak to wait for that cut to develop and find Luco for the bucket.
And here's Reeves open for 3. This one misses, though, and a good job by Waynesburg blocking out on Beckman underneath, and the Jackets get the rebound. Ellis for 3. Got it. Thomas Ellis, his first three-pointer, the 4th, though, for the Jackets, and it's now 25-14 as another largest lead of the game here for the Jackets. They are up by 11. We will step aside. 5:16 to play in the opening half here on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Either way, 25-14, Waynesburg leads it here, 5:16 to play in the opening half, and just want to remind you to stay tuned for the halftime show. Brought to you by Triple Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living. Today at the half, we'll have a special one-on-one interview with both Waynesburg head coach Mark Christner and senior forward Jason Probst, so make sure you stick around for that, as we're about 5:16 away from the half. Waynesburg again 1-5 overall. They lost their first PAC game on Wednesday against Thomas More here at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse, 84-74, a game they led by 10 early in the second half. And again, Grove City won that first PAC game against W&J on Wednesday at home, 66-61. They're 4-2 overall, so that's where the teams stand to this point. Wolverines with the basketball. Underneath into the game for the first time, Luke Tinsha. Nice little fadeaway touch shot there by the sophomore. And here's Casey Hope now for Waynesburg. Resets the offense. Guarded closely there by Swartz. Good defense by the senior. And now a three-pointer by Ritchie. Left hand doesn't go, and Grove City clears. Quick shot there by Ritchie in the corner after receiving the pass. Durham and Clace set to check back in for the Jackets. And here again is Tinsha for Grove City, trying to drive on Probst. Tough shot, doesn't go, and Ritchie skies for the board. So two straight shots from Tinsha, one in, one not. Jackets now have possession. Here's Ritchie trying to drive the lane, lost the handle on it. Good job to hustle back and get a hand on it, but can't get it to Luco, and Grove City takes over. 25-16. As we tick inside, 3:40 to play in the opening half. And have a foul here before the shot. Casey Hope with the bump as he was trying to play defense on JT Swartz. So Hope picks up his first foul. Just the team's fourth. So stark contrast to the women's game we saw in the first game of our doubleheader, where both teams in the bonus before we were even midway through the first half. We're at 3:36 to play and only 4 fouls aside. Swartz with it for Grove City. To Marmelstein. Good passing there offensively by Grove City. Knutson got open for a 3, but he's unable to hit. Jackets trying to add on to this 9-point lead. Probst, good seal inside. And there's going to be a hold called on Tincha before the shot. So he picks up his first foul, the sophomore from Butler. And Kenny Clace will inbound underneath the basket. New shot clock for the Jackets as they get it back inside to Probst. Working again against Tincha, and he faces up. It's around him for a moment and then backs out. Durham for 3. No good. And that's Probst underneath the basket, fighting for the rebound. He can't quite get it to go, and Reeves clears for Grove City.
Not sure how Probst got that ball amongst 3 Wolverines, and then he just couldn't get it to fall. Would have brought the Waynesburg lead back to double digits.
Instead, Grove City trying to cut into that advantage. Marmelstein. Now they swing it around, and Swartz ends up with it. 3, no good. Good block out there by Jacob Flegel, sealing off Reeves on the weak side, and Waynesburg starts the other way. Probst. Labashak. He lost the ball, but a foul is called. 2:11 on the first half clock. That's 16 fouls now on Grove City.
I think that one's on Tincha, if I'm not mistaken. No, Reeves is who was culpable there.
Couple substitutes here for the Jackets. Clace will inbound underneath, gets it to Ritchie. To Clace, and now Probst. Their jump shot from Probst, this one too short. Grove City with the rebound. Again, one of these mini scoring droughts from the teams. Been stuck on 25-16 here for the last few possessions. McSweeney, though, with an offensive rebound here for Grove City, and the Wolverines will reset. Fresh shot clock. Marmelstein, drives and dishes to Huff. Now Reeves. He's going to drive on Durham, get by him, then dishes off, but he traveled. Thought for a second he had done a nice job of getting free and finding the open man, but called for the traveling violation, and Waynesburg takes over. Inside 1:30 to play in this opening half. Jackets have led for the majority of the half. Right now they're up 9. Probst with it, faces up. Working on McSweeney, gives to Durham. His mid-range jumper off, no good. Good fight there from Thomas Ellis, but the ball is going to go over to Grove City.
Boy, that one was close. Ellis just trying to tiptoe that baseline, get it to bounce off a Wolverine. Didn't get the call there, though, as we see several more substitutes as we approach the final minute. Tough shot by Durham, too, that he almost got to go. That leaner from 15 feet away, falling away from the basket toward the baseline and back toward that other far sideline. Still getting a good look up.
Just didn't quite fall for the junior, and the lead stays at 9 for the Jackets. Good backdoor cut there from Marmelstein, and he finishes with the left hand. Just the second basket, so 5 points for him in the early going, but has been effective in other ways as well.
He's tied for the team lead in scoring right now, and a great pass, a bounce pass from Schwartz to set him up.
And here's a almost steal. Now it is a steal for Marmelstein. He's able to pick off that Casey Hope pass. Giesler for 3 on the other end, and he is fouled by Thomas Ellis. Don't want to do that if you're Ellis. And now Giesler will go to the line for 3 shots.
Yeah, that's Ellis' second foul. And a good opportunity here for Grove City to trim away at this Waynesburg margin. And while you say you don't ever want to foul a three-point shooter, that one's pretty touchy there for Ellis, who just barely got a piece of Giesler as he shot it.
Yeah, tough call, but he got it there. So foul shots when we come back. 7-point lead for the Jackets in the PAC game of the week.
My name is Rick Dorman, and I work in higher education. Parents ask me which colleges they should consider for their children. I know they're looking for an advantage. Like merit scholarships, which could total $80,000, opportunity for student involvement, or even dedicated personal faculty. And as president of Westminster College, I can assure them that their child will gain that here. So if you want an advantage, consider Westminster.
Brian Giesler at the line for 3 shots for Grove City. He's just 1 for 3 on the season coming in. The first one is true, though. Giesler, as I said earlier in the broadcast, one of the captains on this team. He had a school record 76 3-pointers a season ago. So maybe that foul by Thomas Ellis wasn't such a bad idea after all. Although he's hit the first 2 foul shots of this set. And the third shot is true as well, excuse me. So the senior, a Slippery Rock High School, hits all 3, and the lead is now down to 4. Closest is as close as Grove City has been in a little while here in this first half. Waynesburg taking their time. They'll hold for the last shot. Shot clock is off. 12 seconds on the game clock. Flegel has it stripped away. Great defense there from Schwartz. He's trying to get it ahead. Knutson with it. 4 on the clock. Good for somewhere to go. Marmelstein's going to have to fire up a long 3-pointer, and it goes off the backboard. What a shot from Mitch Marmelstein. And that brings Grove City to within 1 at halftime. The senior, a big one to get him back.
Oh, that's a huge shot. Sometimes the 3-point shooter's delight is when it bounces off the glass and in. No one is more delighted than Mitch Marmelstein right now. His 8th point leads all scorers heading into the locker room and has helped Grove City get back to within 1.
An 8-0 run to end the half for the Wolverines. Has them at 25-24, trailing by just 1. And when we come back, of course, it's our halftime show brought to you by Triple Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living. When we're back, again, it's interviews with both Waynesburg head coach Mark Christner and senior forward Jason Probst. Again, halftime score, Waynesburg 25, Grove City 24.
For over 2 decades, the Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living organization, known as Triple, has been diligently working to deliver their mission serving people with disabilities in Washington, Fayette, and Greene counties. Accomplishing their mission and goals, affirming liberty and justice for all people with disabilities, takes an organization of persons dedicated to delivering consumer-focused services to the area. The facility expansion into the YWCA building, located on West Maiden Street in Washington, brings a heightened energy for Triple. Having outgrown the current Triple facility, the renovation of the historic YWCA building provides Triple with the opportunity to expand their services to the local residents for public use, while restoring a treasured local landmark building. While preserving the historic interior design integrity of the YWCA building, the importance of this expansion will truly have an impact on the services that Triple can provide to not only their members, but to the community as well. The expanded facility will feature an internet cafe providing free online access, a rehabilitation gymnasium providing increased exercise facilities and sports offerings, a wellness center, auditorium, and staging area for the special events use within the community, meetings and multi-purpose rooms, in addition to expanded administrative offices. Triple has limited sources of financing generally only available for programs and not for capital improvements. Consequently, Triple needs funding dedicated to the rehabilitation of the YWCA and needs your help. We enter into this new and expanded phase of service offerings with a strong commitment to aggressively continue our mission. We thank our local donors and ask for you to consider joining with us in our quest to meet and exceed the demands for the important services provided by Triple. Donations can be made to Triple at this address: For further information on ways you can help, please visit our website, triple.com, or call 724-223-5115.
Nick Farrell here alongside Waynesburg men's basketball coach Mark Christner on the PAC Sports Network. Coach, last time we saw you was at St. Vincent in the conference semifinals. Ended with a loss, but what was your reaction to that game, and what did you say to your players heading into the locker room following the game?
Well, in a game like that, you're never quite ready for it to be done, and I think the finality, we weren't sure last year where we were going to be at. We were a little limbo. Sometimes for sure your season's over. Last year it worked out that our season wasn't over, and so there was some optimism, yet we talked a little bit about the season, and also when you plant some seeds for what lies ahead. And I think we understand, when you're building a program and you continue to bring talented guys in and bring back talented guys, you just want to continue to build on what has happened. And so it was a little bit more planting the seeds, I think, for what we want to accomplish this year.
Well, the current nature of the team is one that you've built. Really, these seniors with Jason Probst, Jacob Flegel, and some others are your first recruiting class. How important has that been to have this core of players sticking together for 4 years, getting ready for their senior season?
Well, I think, Nick, it's a little unique. I mean, I think if you look at the landscape of college basketball, not only at the Division I level, but even at the Division III level, to have 6 guys or 7 guys who have come in together. We added Tyler Miller, I guess, halfway through, but who have stayed together and who have grown together, and it hasn't always been easy, challenged each other, and I think it's really unique. And not only that is, it's pretty special too. I mean, you look at other rosters and you kind of track maybe some other programs just a little bit and see, transfer rates at Division I schools are really high. I think they're pretty high at Division III too. And so to me, that's the word that I would use with the group. It's really pretty unique and special, and it says a lot about the character of those guys to make the decision to be here, to be committed to being here, and to stick it out.
How much have they developed? What is something that you think characterizes this group of students?
Well, I think toughness. I mean, I think when you look at academically speaking and getting through kind of major things and figuring out what you want to do. Jason's a really good example of that. He's found really something that he really likes and has done really, really well in it. But we've had other guys, Kenny Clace and Byram Luco are guys who have every semester gotten better in the classroom and really worked at it. And, Thomas Ellis and Jacob and Casey were good students to begin with and have been great ambassadors in that regard. And then you throw in Tyler, who just his personal story of coming back from his blood cancer and being able to be here and to be a factor for us. And then down the basketball court, guys, some different stories, right? We've had a couple guys who played, 16, 17 minutes as freshmen. We had guys who didn't play at all as freshmen. In fact, Byram didn't play for a year and a half. And then, has blossomed into one of our key guys. And so it's pretty unique how the group is meshed, but they've meshed and they've hung with it. And thankful for that.
Now, all of those names that you mentioned were instrumental in that big playoff victory over W&J, the arch rival of Waynesburg, 62-58 in the quarterfinals last year. How significant of a moment was that for you as a coach to get that first home playoff win in your career?
Well, it was one of our goals that we had set last year was to play a game at home. And, as we got toward the end of the year, we played really well, home or away. And so it was nice to have the support of our community and of Jacket Nation there. I think it was pretty loud and it's pretty boisterous, and that's kind of the environment we want to create, and the students and community really created that. And I think so for us to have a goal of playing at home in the conference tournament, it's such an advantage, and you want to play at home for longer.
A lot of folks around the conference see Waynesburg as one of the top 3, if not higher, teams in the conference, based on this core of seniors. Where do you see yourselves?
Well, you differentiate between what's reality and what's paper. I think certainly we feel like we can compete in our league for a conference championship. we haven't played winning basketball yet, though. And so, as Bill Parcells says, you are what you are a little bit. And I think for us, reestablishing that hunger, reestablishing how we're going to play together and tough, I think will help us, and I think this sentiment's probably shared by many coaches in our league. I think our league is good. I don't think we have the dominant team that we maybe have had in years past, and with some dominant talent. St. Vincent, to me, clear and away is the favorite at this point, but everything gets played out, and it's a long season. And so I think for us, we feel like we have what it takes to compete, and we have to be able to show it on the court.
Well, thanks, Coach, for taking the time to chat with us.
Appreciate it, Nick. Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we've got Jason Probst to sit in Coach Christner's chair right here on the PAC Sports Network.
Since 1961, McCracken Pharmacy has served their community in a uniquely personalized way with the goal to use the most innovative technologies in retail pharmacy. Patients and customers are served with medication synchronization programs, easy-to-use unit dose packaging, adult vaccination programs, and free delivery service. McCracken's 3 pharmacists and friendly, courteous, knowledgeable staff will take the time to sit and answer patients' medication questions. With all major insurances accepted, McCracken is also a preferred pharmacy in many Medicare plans. McCracken Pharmacy, a proud sponsor of Yellow Jackets basketball in the PAC.
Welcome back. Jason Probst has joined us here on the set at Waynesburg University. Jason, Coach Christner's hanging out in the wings over on the side here to evaluate your performance. You nervous at all?
Oh, a little bit.
When we talk about this team, you and Jacob Flegel are a couple of the key components, but this group of seniors that includes others like Hope and Clace and Ellis, you guys have all stuck together for 4 years. How have you seen your teammates grow together in that time?
There's a lot of respect between us, I guess. It's just we've all come through a lot of different stuff. Hope especially with like recovering from a knee injury, and there's just a lot of different things that have hit each and every one of us. And yeah, we're still right here fighting for each other. So. It's just a cool group to be a part of for the most. Like, there's the ups, the downs, but it's still cool to be a part of a program like this.
You personally, how far have you seen your game come in the last 4 years?
I guess I'm a little bit more judgmental on myself. I've seen myself take a few steps back, a couple forward. It's been kind of an up and down road too. A couple with like ankle injuries and stuff have kind of held me back in some situations. So. With me this year, I'm just kind of trying to focus on getting back to the same grittiness that I had a couple years ago as a sophomore, where I wasn't worried about injury. I wasn't worried about looking good or looking bad. I was just playing for the sake of playing, So I guess that's where, I'm not really judging my growth right now. I just kind of want to see where it goes from now.
When you look back at the last 3 seasons, you and this core of seniors have done a lot of significant things, specifically last year, making it to the postseason and advancing to the semifinals. Any moments stick out to you as favorite marquee moments with this team?
I really enjoyed the St. Vincent game at our home. There was a lot of energy, a lot of emotion there, and it was really fun. And then obviously beating W&J again was a lot of fun too. But the overall, just the season in general, it's just a fun thing to be a part of, where you go from freshman year winning 5 games to improving each and every year. So right now I'm just excited to see what happens this year.
You mentioned that St. Vincent win at home. I don't need to remind you the result in the postseason. Yeah. Is the goal to get back there and then maybe conquer the Bearcats this season?
Oh, definitely. This year, one of our practice jerseys is yellow, to remind us of a gold standard. That's what we're playing for, is to be the best team we can possibly be. And then also, it's the only color that is not shared in any other conference. So it's St. Vincent is the yellow, and it's just to remind us that's where we're headed and that's what we're going to go for. So,
was there any collective motion from the then juniors, now seniors, after that game? Clearly, it's still used as a rallying cry, but how often do you guys talk about it?
I don't know how to explain it. It was definitely a very disappointing game because we knew we had the talent to win that year. And I know at the end of every year, we keep on saying, all right, next year's our year, next year's our year. And so I get at this point, we're just kind of done talking about it and more to the point where we just want to prove that this is going to be our year.
This group has stayed together for 4 years. You guys look good on the court when you're winning. You're playing your best basketball. And it also looks like you're having fun. Is it true that since you guys have been together for so many seasons that you have some good memories and some good friendships off the court?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I just spent the Thanksgiving break with Jacob Flegel, and there's a lot of good friendships. So some of us live in the same house together now. There's on and off the court. Just recently, we were running around over break, all over Waynesburg, playing kind of like a tag and stuff together, and just enjoying each other's company. I mean, long season, there's always those moments where, you're frustrated with somebody on the team, but for the most part, we can push those aside, and just have fun together.
So you guys will get old but never grow up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Jason, thanks for taking the time to chat with us. When we come back, we'll have the second half of our game today here on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
Set for the start of the second half here from the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse. Waynesburg leads Grove City 25-24 at the half. In the opening half, now, both teams shot the ball fairly well, especially from behind the arc. Grove City shot it at a 42.9% clip. The Jackets 57.1. And individually, it was Marmel's team with that miracle three at the end of the first half. The bank shot from way outside, leading all scorers with 8 points.
So who do you think you are? Walk through these gates?
So Grove City gets the ball first here in the second half. And right away, a turnover by the Wolverines as Probst and Durham on the double team got the strip. And the Jackets will have the first chance now, trying to put points on the board in the second half. Place working on Tam there, and he misses the shot off the front iron, no good. And Grove City with a rebound. Tam on the other end now, trying to make something happen, and a jump ball called here as he got caught up in the air in no man's land there with nowhere to go, and he'll take a seat. Swartz back into the game.
Durham forced the tie-up there for the Jackets. Probably in Tam's best interest that he wasn't called for a travel there, because at least it switches the possession arrow back in Grove City's favor.
Yeah, better than a turnover at least for the Wolverines, although they possession. Flegel with it for Waynesburg. Probst posting up. Now he faces up, gets around one defender, reaches another, and he's got the and one opportunity as he is able to finish and get fouled. So Jason Probst, 9 points, the first opportunity to go into double figures here.
What a move by Probst, and a great finish too, finishing strong. Arguably, that's not a shot he makes as a freshman or sophomore for the Jackets. We've seen several of those occurrences today where the Jackets have really shown how much these upperclassmen have grown in the past couple of seasons under head coach Mark Christner.
He's done just a great job. Again, and this is his 5th year with the program. Took over a team as we've got a turnover here by Grove City. 2-22 the year before he got here, so he certainly had plenty of work in front of him, and this is really maybe that first big class that he had, these seniors that are here now.
And if I'm not mistaken, Coach Christner had one season with this class where the team was either winless or only had one win in PAC play. Last season hosted the first playoff game at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse since the 05-06 campaign as Luco travels. It shows in those last 4 years just how much of a progression the program has made. And the student section behind that left basket where the Jackets are now headed is a symbol of that, because the gym used to be empty for men's games. People were coming out to see the women's team play because they were a winning team competing against Thomas More and St. Vincent for PAC titles in the semifinals. Now the Jackets are in that category this season.
Yeah, certainly a great job. Christner coming from Calvin College as we have a collision underneath the basket here, and Giesler's going to get to the line to shoot two. They get Flegel on the foul, picking up his second. So Giesler back to the line. Remember, he was fouled on a three-pointer by Thomas Ellis. Made all 3 free throws. Let's see if he can make all 2 here. First one does not go.
Giesler accounts for all 4 of Grove City's shots so far.
Giesler's made 45 starts in his career, coming off the bench here tonight in this one. And this is the second as well, so Wolverines come up empty on that trip. Flegel picks up his dribble in the backcourt. Tough pass. Somehow Probst is able to pick up the loose ball. I think it hit off the nose there maybe of Byram Luco. But Jackets recover. Here's Flegel with a chance for 3, and he's got it. Nothing but net there. And Flegel finally on the score sheet with the tray. And it's a 7-point Waynesburg advantage as they've come out on a 6-0 run here in this second half.
Jackets 5 of 8 as a team from beyond the arc.
I already mentioned they're the top 3-point shooting team in the conference. They've showed it here today. Clace on the turnover all the way to the hoop. Finger roll, and he got it. Kenny Clace, nice finish at the rim. And it's a 9-point Jacket advantage. Timeout called by head coach Steve Lammy of Grove City. So the Jackets 8-0 run to start this second half, just 2:30 in, and they're back up 9, back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
So who do you think you are? Walk through these gates and you'll find out. It'll take, 4 years. 4 years of rigorous academics, of grand tradition, citizenship, of making friends for life, and let's not forget, having fun. While you're doing all this, we have a job too, to ensure your success. And make no mistake, we're good at it. Welcome to Bethany, a small college of national distinction.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this. There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
9-point advantage here for Waynesburg. Grove City off the timeout. Nice play, and right to the hoop there on the cut is Marmelstein, and he's the first Grove City player in double figures now with 10. And a steal here by Swartz, taken away from Durham. Right in at Clace, but good defense there by Clace. And on the rebound, we have a foul called here on Grove City.
I think it's Beckman who picks up his first, Grove City second for going over the back.
That's his first team second.
Good passing on that last scoring possession by the Wolverines as well. Not sure that after the first pass was made that the ball ever touched the ground again on a dribble. That's how crisp and clean and quick the passing was.
Yeah, that's what you want coming out of a timeout if you're a head coach. So Lammy drew it up well in the huddle, and they executed it, the Wolverines. Here's Probst with a turnaround off the rim, no good. And it's off the hands of Beckman. Out of bounds under the basket. So Waynesburg with another opportunity and a fresh 35. Inbound to Luco. He had a step for a moment And then he had the ball knocked off his own knee. Other way, here's Giesler taking it right at Flegel, and he scores. Brian Giesler now with 5, and the lead back down to 5.
Great transition work by Schwartz to start that on the right side, getting the steal, beating, I believe it was B.J. Durham, and then finding Giesler, who was coming down on the left side in transition as well.
Hard pick there from Flegel, and open is Jason Probst, and he didn't take your advice, but he hit another one anyways. 3 for 3 on the year, and he's got 13.
I just want to know how it's happening. Good for Probst, though, that he's able to hit 2 of his 2 threes today.
So the Jackets back on top by 8. The big outside shot by Probst. There's a steal from Luco, and you're going to have a hard time catching him, Byram Luco. And the lead is double digits here for the Jackets.
The 2-time national qualifier in the 400-meter hurdles at Waynesburg shows his speed there, breaking way away from everyone else after the steal.
Sometimes those feet are just moving so quickly you can hardly keep track, and that time it paid off on the defensive end and turned into some offense, and now it looks like he's gonna... I thought for a second he was going to pick up the foul, but instead it's going to go against Jason Probst, his second.
Fresh core of Jackets coming in. You know, it's one thing that Coach Christner mentioned during the halftime interview that we saw here on the PAC Sports Network is that Luco has kind of developed into a role that maybe Christner didn't think he would develop into as a senior. He's now a starter. He's a great athlete in both track and field and in basketball here at Waynesburg, and you know, he's so athletic, and not only is he a great athlete, he's great at learning new tricks. That's what Christner said, and that's what's made him such a good player this season.
This ball's batted around out of bounds off to Waynesburg, and yeah, he's a guy, when you look at what he's done on the track, he could have gone maybe a higher level for sure for track and field, but instead he wanted to go somewhere where he could do both, and that's what he's done here, and he's done them both pretty darn well for the Jackets to this point. So the timeout on the floor. We'll step aside as well. 38-28. The Jackets lead by 10. It's our PAC game of the week.
Fully co-ed, Chatham University offers over 40 majors in the health sciences, sustainability, business, and the arts and sciences. Qualified undergraduates can also be admitted into our integrated undergraduate and graduate programs in physical and occupational therapy, physician assistant studies, and more. Live on our historic Shadyside campus or our Eden Hall campus, the first in the world built for the study of sustainability. Strong academics, Division III men's and women's sports, one-of-a-kind campus locations. Chatham.edu.
10-point advantage for Waynesburg, and Grove City just took what looks to be second to last timeout. Just one remaining now with more than 15 minutes left to play in this one.
Jackets on offense on the court. Hope, Ellis, Miller, Luco, and Labashak for Grove City. Marmelstein, Schwartz, Reeves, Knudsen, as well as Beckman.
And Thomas Ellis with the basket there for Waynesburg off the timeout. And the Jackets lead is now 12. Trying to pull away here in the second half. Underneath to Knudsen, guarded by Labashak. To Marmelstein, gets Ellis in the air. Good help though by the Jackets. 15 on the shot clock. Knudsen working against Labashak again. And now a little short jump shot there just inside the free throw line by Beckman. That's missed, and Waynesburg with the rebound. Chance again to add to that lead. Luco tries to find Ellis on the cut. A nice one and a good left-handed finish. Ellis now with 8. Just about right at his season average, and the Jackets lead now 14.
More great passing and off-the-ball movement from the Yellow Jackets leads to another basket. Waynesburg outscoring Grove City 17-4 in these nearly 6 minutes here in the second half.
And here's a step-back jump shot by Schwartz, and no, they say it hit either the wiring up above the hoop or one of the support beams, and they're going to call it no basket, out of bounds, and Waynesburg still out 14 as they get the basketball back.
And a tough break for Schwartz there, and tough break for Grove City in general, as it just seems the Wolverines, while they've been playing decent defense, just haven't been able to get anything going offensively here in the second half.
And Hope dishes to Ellis here. Miller, now Luco. 15 on the shot clock as Hope resets. Guarded there by Swartz. Hope lost the basketball and out of bounds back to Grove City. And JT Swartz has played a great game on the defensive end. He's caused a couple turnovers by the Jackets.
And one of those turnovers led to one of the lone baskets for Grove City in the second half. It's good defense like that here in these last 13 minutes and 30 seconds or so that will help Grove City get back into this one.
And here's a three-pointer by Giesler. That would have helped as well, but a bit too long. And the rebound goes to the Jackets. Hope wide open for three. Short though, no good. And on the rebound, a foul called on Tyler Miller. So Miller picks up his first.
I think that's the third team foul against Waynesburg here in the second half. Some subs coming on. Ritchie and Flegel check back in for Lavishak and Luco. Recent sub for Grove City as well. Corey Huff is out there.
Those are some of the new players on the floor. So the Wolverines try to cut into this Jacket advantage. Here's Marmelstein, thought about a three. It's around Flegel, tough shot. Finger roll layup off the glass and good, and the foul. Marmelstein, great finish there as he got in between two Jacket defenders, and Flegel picks up his third foul on the play.
Seems as if Marmelstein is very quietly approaching his average, which is about 15 points per game, even though he's been out on the court seemingly the entire game.
And he hits the foul shot, so he's got 13. Yeah, of course, that included a big three-pointer at the end of the first half, a bank shot from well behind the three-point line as Ritchie drives and is fouled. Go to the line to shoot two.
Marmelstein, immediately after the and one, picks up his second foul. Grove City's third as a team.
Ritchie 80% from the line coming in. That one no good. He was 2 for 2 in the first half. Second shot now from the lefty. That one's off as well, so Jackets come up empty on that possession. Still lead it though by 11. Tam trying to find Huff, establishing some position inside, but he walked with it. Good job by Ritchie standing his ground underneath. And Huff gets some instructions from Coach Lammy on the sideline before heading back down the floor to play defense. And talking with Coach Christner earlier in the week, he mentioned to me about how the team just needed to stay even keel and stay relaxed. And they seem to go too high with the highs and too low with the lows throughout this season to this point. And just kind of thinking as he talking, boys, do they ever need to take the temperament of their coach, as he is just that type of guy. Ritchie, the long three, and he's got it. And the Jackets back up 14. But just something in these early games against some tough competition where they've had a hard time just going with the ebbs and flows of the games, but they've done that here today in this one so far. And a foul away from the ball. They get Thomas Ellis. He can't believe that one. Rolling his eyes a bit.
Boy, the Jackets, though, are just on fire from beyond the arc. 6 of 9 from three-point land today.
Well, just a fantastic job so far. It's a big part of their game. It has been in recent years, and will be again this year in 2014, 2015. As here's Giesler. Top spinning move against Flegel. Rebound comes down to Clace. He's going to push it the other way, working against Tam. Tough shot, but he's got the finish. Kenny Clace with 7. I believe this is the largest Waynesburg lead at 16. The Jackets continue to try to pull away, and Hope thought he had the strip there, but they're going to get Casey Hope on the foul, and Swartz, I believe, will go to the line here to shoot two.
Waynesburg foul for Casey Hope, second team, 6.
Second foul on Casey Hope. Schwartz at the line for the first time in search of his first points of the afternoon. First one comes up short. Coming in, he is 8th best in the conference, shooting at almost an 80% clip. Also tops on the team.
It's interesting that Schwartz has sort of adopted a different role this season with the Wolverines there as he makes the second. He's been a periodic starter for his first 3 seasons. This year, though, he's been primarily a bench player for Grove City as Sam has taken over the starting role.
And he's had to adapt with that. And so far this afternoon, he's done a good job of it, especially on the defensive end. Here's Ritchie establishing position underneath. Good seal there and able to put the layup up and in. And Ritchie now in double figures with 10.
First chance we've got to see the transfer student from Oakland, Maryland, having a great game for himself in double figures.
And here's Schwartz from 3, and he's got this one. JT Schwartz and a Grove City timeout. So they cut into the lead, but it's still a 14-point Waynesburg advantage. Grove City with some work to do when we come back on the PAC Sports Network.
When you're seriously in debt, you know that feeling. It returns every time the phone rings. Things are out of control. A job you were counting on didn't come through, or you got sick. No matter how it got to this point, your creditors don't care or understand, but I do. It's not too late. I can help. If you're embarrassed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, don't be. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help, and you do need help. Please call me. There is a way out, and I'll get you there.
Whether you're a traditional college-bound student, busy adult, or an advanced degree seeker, Geneva College offers degree programs tailored to your professional goals and personal commitments. Online or on campus, you'll enjoy personalized attention and a supportive Christian community of inspiring scholarship. Complete your degree in business, engineering, education, counseling, or one of 50 other programs. Geneva College. Step forward, leap ahead. Head to geneva.edu to get started.
Grove City out of timeouts and 14 points to make up here in the final 10:44 of the second half. Jackets on top and with the basketball. And with it is Jason Probst underneath the basket. Working on 2 Grove City defenders as Reeves came down to help. Now Durham will take a long 3, and he's got it. And the Jackets continue to stay hot from behind the arc. 8 3-pointers for Waynesburg.
It's like they can't miss.
And the lead is now 17. And Probst getting for the foul there, the hold as he tried to come across the front of Tinsha and steal that basketball. And you look at a team here in Waynesburg that we've talked about 1-5 coming in and just maybe having some trouble adapting to different runs and things throughout the course of a game, and not maybe putting that best 40 minutes of basketball in yet. And it looks like if they continue this for these final 10 minutes, maybe they'll have that here against Grove City in this one, but still plenty of time as Tinsha misses the front end of that 1-1. And some good ball handling by Durham on the other end. Durham gets it back with 20 to shoot, and a sign from the student section has fallen onto the court, so they call a timeout.
Believe that sign went in and out of the hands of senior quarterback Carter Hill for the Yellow Jackets, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's why he plays quarterback instead of wide receiver.
He does that pretty well, though, doesn't he?
He sure does. Led the Jackets to an 8-3 season this year, losing in the ECAC Southwest Bowl, but defeating arch rival Washington and Jefferson for the first time in nearly a decade.
Underneath the basket here on the hardwood, Lamashak can't finish, and Grove City gets the rebound. Yes. Knutson drives the lane. Turnaround jump shot doesn't go. What a job by Schwartz, though, coming in and ripping that rebound away from Lavashap, keeping the play alive, and an and one opportunity here for Luke Tinsha.
And it all started with the hustle play from Schwartz, who grabbed the offensive rebound. He's undersized, but he didn't need to box out there. He just swooped in at the last minute, grabbed the ball, found Tinsha, who now has a chance for his 5th point on the day. And these free throws, always critical, so crucial here because it will help trim away at that Waynesburg deficit, still with plenty of time on the clock.
Yeah, 9:18 still to go. A 15-point Waynesburg lead. Timeout on the floor. Back in a moment on the PAC Sports Network.
Tri-County Patriots for Independent Living is raising funds for renovation and new construction of the YWCA building on West Maiden Street in Washington. Triple is a membership organization of people with disabilities and their families, friends, and neighbors. Triple's vision is to embrace the Y's historic, uplifting character while creating a state-of-the-art, fully accessible community center. We are accepting various types of donations for the rehabilitation of the Y. Visit ywca.triple.com or call 724-223-5115 for more information.
(52-37). Waynesburg on top here. 9:18 to play in the contest. Grove City trying to make a comeback here. Tinsha at the line to try to complete a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, and he's got it. 5 points for the sophomore out of Butler High School. And now Grove City implements that full-court press. Good job by Waynesburg, though, to break it. And they'll reset their offense here with B.J. Durham. Lead is again 14. Here's Luca almost losing the handle on it. Durham, another 3-point opportunity and maybe a chance for 4.
How on earth is this happening, Dave? I mean, when you think about just any statistics, the law of averages always comes into play in games like these. Waynesburg just can't miss a 3 in the second half. Even when Durham gets fouled and gets slammed to the ground by, I believe, Schwartz, who picks up his first foul, he still sees it through the rim.
Yeah, and you can see Schwartz just trying to get out to the shooter there as he knows how hot they've been so far, have the Jackets, and it just came out a little too aggressively. Fortunately for him, though, they missed the foul shot. They go the other way. Here's Marmelstein. His 3's off the back of the iron, no good, but Wolverines with another offensive rebound, another opportunity here. Knudsen trying to go baseline, finds Beckman for a little jump shot from the elbow. It's good. First basket of the second half for the freshman out of Shelby, Michigan. And they cut the lead to 15 to the Wolverines.
Good patience by Knudsen on that last possession to eventually find his teammate for the bucket.
And here's Durham, a pull-up. Back of the rim, no good, and he's going to pick up the foul. Maybe not a bad one, though, as Knudsen was trying to get out in transition.
I believe, though, Dave, that's 18 fouls against Waynesburg. If that counts accurate, Knudsen's going to the free throw line. So that's a positive for the Wolverines, who now might have an opportunity to slowly chip away at this Waynesburg lead from the free throw line throughout these remaining 8 minutes, 13 seconds.
Yeah, you'll take points with the clock stopped anytime you can. And that's what Knudsen will try to do here on the one-on-one opportunity.
Foul committed by Durham as well on that last possession.
We saw it in the women's game. Waynesburg just had to chip away and finally got the lead back with less than 30 seconds to play. Now he had a big shot on the other end by Grove City to get the win eventually, but when you're looking at this contest, still plenty of time left for the Wolverines. And a foul shot off the front of the iron, but they get the rebound. So they leave that front end open, but Knudsen's going to get a chance to get 3, and he does. You'll take that trade any day as Knudsen's able to hit his second 3-pointer of the afternoon.
And you know, Dave, I like that comparison too, because Grove City's got even more time to trim away at this deficit than the Waynesburg women's team did earlier today. It's not over yet, especially with a score as good as Marmelstein.
Absolutely, but a good drive there from Thomas Ellis to get him in double digits. And the lead back to 14. If you're Grove City, it's got to start on that end of the floor, as it always does when you're behind. You got to get stops. so many times down the court, and you can't turn it over, which they did there. Ellis almost lost the handle on it. And he's able to get it back, and Waynesburg will take their time, as they may do often down the stretch if they can continue to hold the lead. Flegel spots up for a short jump shot. He's got it. All 5 of his points in the second half, and the lead back to 16 as Jackets try to keep Grove City at bay. Tam, good move around Durham. Instead he chooses to go back outside. Now Reeves driving the lane. He's fouled hard by Miller, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. And Tyler Miller picks up his second foul. Both committed here in the second half. And we've got a timeout called. Head coach Mark Christner calls it. Waynesburg leads at 59-43, 6:50 on the second half clock. Back in a moment here on the PAC Game of the Week.
Faith and freedom are far-reaching matters for us. The freedom to pursue a calling in life, and the faith that it will make a big difference. The freedom to use the value of an education to pay it forward, and a Christian faith to make it count. At Grove City College, faith and freedom create opportunities. And that's why faith and freedom matter.
We're here at Sport Clips, the new just for guys haircutting place, to see what the buzz is about. How was it?
Nice cut, nice price, professional stylist. Doesn't get any better than this. There's sports on TV at every chair.
I got an awesome haircut, steam towel treatment, neck and shoulder massage. I went all the way!
What are you waiting for? Sport Clips is now in your neighborhood. At Sport Clips, guys win.
With 2 locations in Washington County, at the McMurray Shops in Peters Township and at Trinity Point in Washington.
Isaiah Reeves at the line for 2 for Grove City here. Has come back on the PAC Sports Network. Misses the first. 50% shooter coming in, just 3 of 6 from the line. Second shot by Reeves is up and good, so 3 points for the Jews out of Pittsburgh. Lead now 15 for Waynesburg. It's Casey Hope racing up the floor for the Jackets. Looking for a second at Luco on the back cut. Instead, Hope keeps it to the lane, and offensive foul called. Got the basket, but doesn't count, and he is slow to get up as Casey Hope, and of course missed all of last season with an injury, so it's good to see him get up under his own power there and stay in the game. .6:30 and counting. Still time for Grove City, but they got to start chipping away at that lead here soon. Giesler to McSweeney, and now Tam. Quick passing there by the Wolverines. A good final pass by Swartz, but Huff couldn't hit the jump shot, and Waynesburg gets the ball back and some chance to run some clock. And a foul here on JT Swartz, his second. Jackets not yet with an opportunity to shoot. Just the 15th foul on Grove City as Marmelstein checks back in for Tam. Again, 15-point Waynesburg advantage. And we've got another foul. Swartz again, so he picks up 2 quick ones here. And now on the next foul, the Jackets will be shooting.
Yeah, the good thing for Grove City is it does have fouls to give here, but the more fouls the Wolverines commit, the better chance Waynesburg, the more chance will have to expand this already large lead.
At some point, if they're still trailing, they may have to resort to fouling, but not quite at this point as Ellis goes into the paint and gets fouled. And he'll shoot a couple.
Yeah, so now those 3 quick fouls in a row put the Wolverines in the bonus as McSweeney picks up his 4th foul.
First shot from Ellis is up and good. So 11 for the senior out of Fresno, Ohio. Labashak and Clace back in for the Jackets.
Ellis's dad, Chuck, he makes the trip to almost every Waynesburg game, whether it's home or away. Arguably one of the biggest fans. If he weren't here, he'd be tuning into our broadcast here on the PAC Sports Network, but he does make every effort to come. Great guy.
And he just saw his son hit a pair from the free throw line. 12 points, above his season average of 8.5. Other end now, Flegel's got to play D on McSweeney. It's a good job. McSweeney unable to hit the turnaround shot.
There's Swartz again, though, giving another important second chance opportunity. He's had a great game, even though the scorecard wouldn't necessarily prove that.
They're doing it in a lot of different ways is JT Swartz here today. Marmelstein, it's Flegel in the air, the up and under. Tough shot as it rattles in and out there for Marmelstein. And Thomas Ellis on the rebound, tries to rip it away there for McSweeney. It's a jump ball called, and like he got his leg caught underneath, and McSweeney did Ellis. That should be okay.
That shot by Marmelstein is almost indicative of how this entire day has gone. At least this second half has gone for Grove City. Shots just going in and out. Turnovers not going their way. Marmelstein, such a good ball player too. He jumped out to have 13 points in the early part of the second half, but has just been quiet for the last 10 minutes. And it's because of things like that where the ball just won't go down. He has a good look from 15 feet, just can't hit it. That's part of the reason why Grove City's down by 17 right now.
Yeah, and they've played a decent. When I was talking with head coach, Coach Lammy, he was saying that, you know, sometimes the results just aren't going to come just based on where they're at, but he just want to make sure that they play to a standard. That's really his only goal. Expectations, this ball's knocked out of bounds and Jackets will take over, but he says, you know, that's really what we're trying to do all year long is just play to our standard, and we think that the outcomes, the results, you know, they'll come from that as long as we're kind of hitting that mark. And it's probably got a point, a guy who's won 4 PAC titles in his time at Grove City, so they're just trying to stick to that, and Thomas Ellis will head back to the free throw line here. And really, Coach Foose of the women's team said the same thing, all about playing to a standard and playing like a Wolverine is the quote that they used, and that's what they're trying to do, and hopefully the results, the outcomes will follow. Now, Lammy's been here a little bit longer in terms of a head coach role. Foose just in her second year trying to get some things established, but as Ellis hits the first shot, but both are certainly looking to continue to build the programs at Grove City.
Well, it's like Coach Lammy never left. You know, he was a graduate in 1985, played 4 years of basketball at Grove City. Now he's in his 17th season, 9 of those winning seasons for the Wolverines as Ellis makes another. He's been there, done that. Certainly he's longer than Coach Christner and has more PAC titles to his credit. And you know, Grove City may not come away with that victory today, but as you said, he said, it's about playing to that standard of winning basketball and excellence. And that's something the Wolverines have plenty of time to figure out this season.
Yeah, still a lot of time, and that's why, as we said in the open, the record's not quite as important yet, but now as we're getting into conference play, they start to become that way. Kenny Clace with the offensive rebound, basket and the foul. And he's got a chance to go into double figures on the afternoon. It was Corey Huff on one end with the basket for Grove City. On the other end, it's Kenny Clace with the basket and the opportunity for 3.
Several subs for the Jackets. Ritchie in, Probst in, as well as Luco. Out comes Labashak, Ellis, and Flegel. To the line, Kenny Clace, the intern this summer with the Washington Wild Things. Our producer, Randy Gore, might know a thing or two about it.
As Clace hits the foul shot, and he becomes the 4th player on the Waynesburg side to hit double digits. Here's a shot up and no good by Grove City. Rebound there by McSweeney. He's got his first 2 of the contest.
Great rebound and put back by McSweeney. Never even thought about dribbling, just went right back up using his size advantage to get the bucket to go. You know, it's a shame because he got into foul trouble early that we haven't been able to see much of him today. Perhaps it could have made a difference had he not gotten 3 fouls so quickly.
Yeah, and certainly didn't see him quite as much in the early going. As a result, as Grove City will get possession again here.
He's Grove City's tallest player. He's only a freshman. Plays like that show his upside.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wolverines. And yeah, at 6'8", I mean, he's a guy who certainly, as he continues to develop, could be a big presence for this team on the inside.
There's not a whole lot of 6'8" forwards in the PAC.
Certainly is not, so we'll see over the course of the next few years where his career will take him, as Swartz tries to drive baseline on Luco, and Luco's going to pick up the foul. And to the line goes Swartz.
Jackets have more than 10 team fouls, so it's 2 free throws the rest of the way for Grove City. As Schwartz, who's had a great game defensively, is 1 for 2 today, back to the line.
Gets the first one to go, and this isn't the first time those two have gone head-to-head, Swartz and Luco. North Allegheny and Shaler. North Hill's a Pitts time or two in the WPIL while those two were in high school. A couple folks from schools in that area. You also have Tincha, 2 years behind those two, coming out of Butler High School. So 3:12 to go. A long three-pointer there by Ritchie. Doesn't go, but Probst gets the rebound, and the turnaround shot does go. 15 for Probst. The game high 15 for the senior from Colorado. And here's McSweeney coming right back with a little baby hook. Nothing called. And the rebound by the Jackets inside 3 minutes to play. They lead by 18. You think they'll continue to run their sets here and run some clock. Jackets, assuming they can hang on here over these last 2:30, go to 2-5 on the year, a 1-1 in the PAC. Wolverines will also go to 1-1 in PAC play. Their overall record will go to 4-3 as Kenny Clace finishes again. 12 for him. So 15 for Probst, 12 for Clace, 14 for Ellis, and 10 for DJ Ritchie. Another basket for BJ Durham, and they'll have 5 in double figures. As this one out of bounds, it'll stay with the Wolverines. Ritchie thought it was off the foot of the Grove City player, but referees Mark Shaw says it'll stay with the Wolverines.
More subs entering. Ty Constein checking in for Grove City, his first action of the day. On the other end, Kendall Page in for the Yellow Jackets, the product of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, playing with Cam Johnson now. A slightly larger scale at the University of Pittsburgh. And Page, a guy, him and Jonathan Knabb, the 2 freshmen for this Waynesburg team, Coach Christner said, been working hard in practice, and Page rewarded with some minutes here as that shot is missed, and the Jackets with a 20-point lead will walk it up court. And you see some other substitutes getting set to check into the game for the Jackets. As Flegel will just waste some time here. 12 on the shot clock, and now the Jackets will get into a play. 5 on the shot clock. Durham's going to have to take a long 3. That's off the mark, no good. Shot clock does reset. And maybe that's what referee Paul Skirtich is talking about. It shouldn't have reset, and that is the call there. Never did catch any iron, did the 3 by BJ Durham, but sideline not too concerned as they get some of the starters out, and in come a couple other players here for Waynesburg.
Jonathan Grimm checking in for Grove City. He's also a fresh face. Eric Karlstrom also in for the Wolverines for this final minute.
And a couple players from Waynesburg as well. Ty Negley, Timmy Kaiser among them. We'll try to get the others here in a moment as play continues. Down in the corner there, three-point shot up and good. And that's Ty Constein with the three-pointer. So 70-53 here as we're inside a minute to go. Jackets have it stripped away there as Tinch is able to pick it up as he picks the pocket of Scott Bloomer.
Other fresh Jacket in there, Tim Plancinis.
So we've got to all 5 of the Jackets who have checked in now in the last couple of minutes. And a foul called here for Waynesburg on Negley. And so Constein to the line. And he hits the first. And Negley picked up that last foul, local product, out of Waynesburg Central High School. The second is up and good as well for Constein. So 5 points for him coming in these Wayne. And Kaiser with it for the Jackets. 16 on the clock, Negley. Over to Page. And Jackets just running the clock out again. They will improve to 1-1 in PAC play. The Wolverines will fall to 1-1 in PAC play. 2-1, and that will do it. Final score, Waynesburg 70, Grove City 55. The Jackets win this one, the second of our doubleheader here between the Jackets and the Wolverines, and a nice embrace there at center court from head coach Steve Lammy and head coach Mark Christner. So we'll step aside here for a moment, but when we come back, don't go away. We've got our Foster Law Office's player of the game here on the PAC Sports Network.
Since 1961, McCracken Pharmacy has served their community in a uniquely personalized way with the goal to use the most innovative technologies in retail pharmacy. Patients and customers are served with medication synchronization programs, easy-to-use unit dose packaging, adult vaccination programs, and free delivery service. McCracken's 3 pharmacists and friendly, courteous, knowledgeable staff will take the time to sit and answer patients' medication questions. With all major insurances accepted, McCracken is also a preferred pharmacy in many Medicare plans. McCracken Pharmacy, a proud sponsor of Yellow Jackets basketball.